Hello and welcome to another macro video. It occurred to me that it might be helpful to use videos as a way of answering certain queries. The point is that other people might have had the same problem, so if I answer it in a video then it'll be available there for other people to watch. So today I've got a couple of queries about FRedit, so I've titled the video FRedit Queries 1, and the first query is about case insensitive find and replace. So let's just revise that from the notes in the FRedit instructions, which are down here. Here we go. So the idea is that normally a find and replace is case sensitive. So if I do that first find and replace, it will only find it in lowercase. So if I also want it as an initial capital, then I would have to do a separate version of it. But then that wouldn't catch, for example, the version where it's all in capitals. So we want to make it into a case insensitive find and replace, and what we do for that is we put a special character at the beginning of the line, and the character I've chosen to use is the bent pipe, so called. Now on most keyboards that character is above the back tick on the top left hand corner of the keyboard, but not every keyboard has that. So there's two ways to produce that character that I can tell you. One is to use the numeric keypad, so you have to know what the ASCII code is for that. So if I use my watchR macro, it'll tell me it's a 172, so it's an ASCII 172. So if I want to produce that character, then I can hold the Alt key down, and on the numeric keyboard I can type 0172, and there's the character. Now if I don't want to keep having to remember 0172, I can put that character onto any old keystroke that I choose. So if I select that, and if I then call up the symbol, which is insert on the insert tab up the end here, symbol, click on that. If I go for more symbols, then as you can see it's picked up the fact that I selected the bent pipe there, look, and there's the character. And down the bottom here is shortcut key, so I can assign a key. Well, I've already done it. I've assigned the keystroke Alt B, so I type Alt B in there and I assign it to that particular character. So close that down, close that down. So if I haven't got a bent pipe there, I can now use Alt B to put it in. Now for my second query, someone asked about how FRedit knows which file is which. Well, I've just cleared the decks a bit, and I've just got a single open file there, which I've just created, just a blank file. And if I put some text in there, any old text will do. If I create a new file, let's pop it up here. Now if I make a FRedit list here, let's say I want to do something silly like changing E into E, and just so that we can see it clearly, let's put a highlight on it. Okay, now as you can see from Word down the bottom here, I've only got two files open. I've got my text and I've got my FRedit list. So FRedit knows that there are only two files there, so if I run FRedit, then it will do it. Okay, if I undo that, if this time I click in the text and do it, it does it. It doesn't matter which file the cursor is in, because there's only one file that's got what FRedit recognizes as a FRedit list, which is this one over here, because it's got this vertical bar character, so it knows that's the list, and this therefore by process of elimination must be the text. So let's undo that again. If I create another new file, alright, let's just close those down and give ourselves more room to maneuver. Okay, so with this file down here, I can put some text in. Okay, and now if I run the FRedit list, if the cursor is in the list there, I'll try and run it, FRedit will tell me that it can't work out which file is which because there are two text files. So it says click in the file to be edited and then rerun FRedit. So if I put the cursor in whichever one it is I'm trying to edit, say that one, and then I run FRedit, it knows which is which, so it can select the right text. However, if I have another file, and suppose here I put a different FRedit list, now if I decide I want to work on this file here, let's undo the E's, there we go. If I want to work on that one, if I now try running FRedit, the poor FRedit just doesn't have a chance because it's got two text files open and it's got two FRedit lists open, so it really can't make sense of it. Okay, so if I want it to work on that file, if I close that file down, if now I decide I want to work on there and try and run FRedit, it still can't work out what's going on because it doesn't know which is the FRedit list. So it says click in the FRedit list I want to use. That's the A's. So if I click in there, it can do the A's. Okay. And what you'll also have noticed there was that none of those files I was working on was actually a saved document. And that's a misunderstanding that some people have, that FRedit will only work on documents that have been saved on the computer. That's not true. It'll work on any open document. So it's just working on the documents that are open in Word at the time when you run FRedit. Okay, well that's it for today. But I do want to say that if I really do want you to ask me if you come unstuck with any of my macros, because either it will enable me to improve the documentation, which then helps other people because they will get better documentation, or I'll be able to create another video like this one, and then other people can watch the video and they'll be helped too. So by asking me for help, you will actually be indirectly helping other people, and so that to me is what life's all about, helping other people. So well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.